Alright, today I'm going to show you all how to set up your featherboard so that it can work with CircuitPython. So first off, go to the course page here and click on week 2 lesson. Now this should have pretty much everything you need to do the first assignment, which is to get Morse code blinking. There's some information about the pinouts here, but what you're going to want to do is go down to this tutorial, open it up, and then work through this tutorial. Go through every page and just read through it. It'll be helpful for later on in the class. The first thing you're going to want to do is install Mu, like they say here. So you go to this link and it should have your installation instructions. It'll be a little bit different, so I'm not going to show it because I'm using Linux on my computer, but it should be pretty straightforward to install. And let's see. So this is what Mu looks like once it's installed. Nothing too exciting. It's just a text editor with some built-in features for CircuitPython. Now after Mu is installed, we're going to need to install CircuitPython on our featherboard. As it comes from the factory, it does not have CircuitPython installed, and it's a very straightforward process. Basically, what you do is you plug in your board to the USB port, you push a button twice in order to make it become like a flash drive, or it'll show up like a flash drive on your computer. And then you upload this file called a UF2 file. So where you get that UF2 file is you click here on this green bar right here. And then what we're going to do is search for the Adafruit, the Feather M0 Adalogger. So for some reason, the Feather M0 Bluetooth is not available with CircuitPython, but this is the next closest board and it works. So I'm going to click on this and then download the UF2 file, and I'm doing CircuitPython 5.3.1. Don't do version 6.0, that's the alpha version. Download this, save it somewhere that you'll remember where you saved it. I'll save it to my desktop. I've already done it, but I will download it again. So once that downloads, we come back over here to the tutorial, and if you have Windows 7, you might need to do something about the drivers, but if you have Windows 10 or Ubuntu, you should be fine. And now what I'm going to do is plug in my board to the USB port. So I plug it in, and if I come over to my file browser, you can see it's not showing up as a flash drive. So what I need to do is find this reset button. It's the only button on the board, and just press it twice, like press. And after I do that, all of a sudden now I have this Featherboot storage device that shows up. And if I click on it, it's got a couple of files in there. Now what I need to do is take that file I downloaded, the UF2 file, and I need to take that and drag it over into the CircuitPython folder. So you could also copy and paste it or something, but you should just be able to see, is that the right file? Yeah, so this is my M0 Adalogger UF2 file that I downloaded. I'm going to drag it over here into the Featherboot folder, and don't think that worked. Let's try that again. Let me try copy and paste. That's in there. Okay, and so once it goes in there, the Feather folder is going to disappear, and then a second later you will see the CircuitPython folder will appear. And it has a folder called lib and one called bootout.txt. And that's all you have to do to get CircuitPython working. It's now got CircuitPython running on your board. And then to use CircuitPython, we already have the Mu text editor installed. So what you can do is open up Mu, and then make a new file. And I'm just going to copy and paste this example code in there. Copy and paste. Oh, and you can see it added an extra indentation, which I didn't mean to do. And a trick that's very helpful that can cause problems. So what you want to do is highlight everything. And if you hit Tab, it'll move it farther to the right, which I don't want. But if you hold down Shift and then hit Tab, you can move it back to the left. So it's kind of a time saver instead of having to do that for each line. So I've got the code in here. Now, what I need to do is, I think, I just have to go to Save, and it'll ask me where I want to save it. I want to save it in the CircuitPython folder. And what I need to call it is code.py. So you have to call it either code.py or main.py. And I think code.txt and main.txt also work. But just do code.py. That's what it looks for first. And then I'm going to click Save. And now my light's blinking. And to see that it's actually running this code, what I'll do is I'll change this to 0.1 seconds instead of 0.5 and just click Save again. And you can't see it, but now the light is blinking faster. So that's all you have to do. And now to make it blink Morse code, that's your assignment. But this is a while loop right here. So this just says do this code over and over and over again. And the code it's talking about is all the code under it that's indented. Because Python, it does matter the indentation. So if I just take this and I copy and paste it 3 times, it's going to do this 3 times each time around in the loop. Let me break it up. So now, if you want to have, these could be 3 short dashes, and then to make a long dash, what you could do is just paste another one and change it to a longer time. So try changing this to back to 0.5. Let me save it. And nothing's happening. So for some reason, nothing's happening. And this is an error I've seen a couple times. What I'm going to try to do is press the reset button on my board. Now it like disappeared and it showed back up as CircuitPython. So I'm going to save it again. Ah, look at that. So what I did is I clicked on this button that says serial, and if I do that, it'll show this terminal down here, also called a REPL, or a read, evaluate, print loop. Anyway, it's just something that shows feedback. If I click save, it'll display some text. And one of the things it says is that there's a syntax error, invalid syntax, and it's in this code.py file on line 26. So if I go down to line 26, that looks fine. But if I look up above it, I forgot a parenthesis there. So for some reason, if you forget a parenthesis, it will show the error on the next line instead of, but it'll give you a place to look. So let me try that again. I'm going to save it. And now if I look at my board, you can't see this again, but there are 3 short flashes and then 1 long flash. So that should give you a hint as to how you might possibly make Morse code. Anyway, hope that helps you guys get started with CircuitPython, and just you can play around with it some and don't worry about messing things up. Just see what you can do with it.